Alright, hey guys. Um, Today's video is basically about a VST distressor, or a plug-in substitute for the original distressor, um, and something that's going to get you close to that sound. And I know a lot of people are always looking for it, and for many years it was completely unavailable, other than a few little side projects that people had done and tried to emulate it, but really didn't do a perfect job of it. So for many years, people have been wondering how they can get this into the in the box, uh, because it's a classic compressor unit. For those of you that don't know, it's a 90s hardware unit that just became an instant classic because it basically emulated a lot of the vintage gear, and not only that, but it added a bunch of extra features. So long story short, every single studio that was worth its weight in salt had a pair of these or more lying around in their racks. So that's why it's always so sought after, because you might be wanting to get that Michael Brower sound or something like that, and you just want to get that as close as you can to the distressor, and you can't. So yeah, this whole video is based around what I've found, the different VSTs that are available, and I'm only going to show you ones that I really believe can do the job. So yeah, let me just jump straight into it. First of all, I have to mention that Empirical Labs have their own version, which is called the Arouser. Not positive why they didn't call it the Distressor. I think maybe because they didn't want people to think it could 100% replace the Distressor hardware. Maybe they didn't want to piss their customers off who had bought, 10 Distressors in the past, and actually, and then this comes out for $350 and wipes out all their hard work and all the money they've spent. So I don't know, maybe that was it. I could be wrong, but either way, it really is, as far as what I've heard, demos, it's a good recreation, and it's by the guys who actually made the Distressor, so it's really good. There are a couple of changes they've made, I wouldn't say really to the sound too much, other than of course more manipulation, which you'd expect from something as modern as this plugin. For example, the total harmonic distortion area, that can be adjusted with a knob now, and a bunch of presets here can also be selected between. They also added a very usable high-pass filter here, which is a sidechain detection high-pass filter, and basically it just won't compress anything below the frequency you set. So this could be handy to clear up the bottom end while you're compressing. They also added basically the same thing, but in a full sweepable version, so you can bring down any kind of frequencies that are, not pleasing the ear or anything like that. They also added a wet and dry knob, which is standard with plugins today. Okay, just a bit about my opinion on this and how this all works is that basically this is a professional, and obviously the regular price is on sale now for $289, but the regular price is $349, so it's not a cheap plugin, and to be honest, it might just be a little bit above my budget at this point. So I actually haven't bought it, and unfortunately I can't demo it for you in that case, but there actually are a bunch of demos out, really good demos that you can view, so just go ahead and search those. I might put some in the description of my video that you can check out. But also, just a little bit of something about this is that they offer you a 14-day free trial, all right, if you don't want to buy it, if you just want to try it out, which is great. So I downloaded it for this video thinking, well, at least I can show everybody what the difference between this and some of the other plugins are. And yeah, you need an iLok 2 installed, and I saw this over here, it said iLok 2 required, but I assumed that the iLok was only going to be for the purchased version, so I obviously assumed wrong, and I can't actually demo this for you, unfortunately. So just bear that in mind if you want to try it out. Make sure you've got an iLok 2 plugged into your system, so that you can actually give it a try. But as I say, I've heard the demos, and this thing's great. It really is a nice, faithful recreation of the Distressor, plus a few extras. Alright, but now, for people like me who maybe who don't want to spend over $300 for a plugin, or for this Distressor emulation, there's a couple other options, and that's a lot of what this video is actually about. So let's move on to the next one, which I think is a great value for money emulation of the Distressor. This is called the Deflector, It's by UBK and Sly-Fi, which is under UBK as far as I understand. You can see it looks a lot like the Distressor. Not only that, but they have a bunch of presets if you load up your presets, which they've got nuke modes preset into there, and as you can see with the 40 ratio they've got here, that's the nuke mode, pretty much an implication right there. And if you look at all the controls, the total harmonic distortion 1 and 2, all the things, this is definitely a Distressor emulation. The guy even kind of says it here in a not so straightforward way. So this one I'm going to be demoing quickly for you. What I've done is I've got a drum bus soloed here, and I've got the deflector on across the whole drum bus. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass it at first, and then I'm going to switch between it a couple of times, and I'm going to switch a couple of presets. You can obviously listen and let me know what you think in the comments, but here we go. I'll bypass again. Now obviously there's I'd have to adjust the makeup gain, the output, and just make sure they're the same so one isn't louder. But I'm really just trying to give you a feeling of the sound, and as you can hear, it sounds really good. I just flipping through those presets, there's a lot of inspiring ones there, but of course it doesn't take too much to operate a Distressor type compressor. Your total harmonic distortion, there's only 1 and 2 and off. Gain reduction in and out, so that's just your metering, choosing your ratio, selecting a high pass. Now this is something that the original unit actually did have, but I think it only had a 60. And what this guy has done while emulating is he's added a 250, and that's just going to clear up a lot more space and then give it a bit more room in the bottom there so that it can punch through. Now that's funny because as I was saying earlier, is that Empirical Labs did the exact same thing. They added a bit more flexibility to it, but basically the same concept, which is funny because they were obviously thinking along the same lines. And then of course you've also got just like this high pass, you've also got a 2K and a 6K that you can smoothen out a little bit there, and that's again also the Empirical Labs guys did the same thing and added that too. So again, it just shows people were headed in the right direction with this. This is the Deflector by Sly-Fi and UBK. I just want to also tell you quickly something. This is not some backyard type company or anything like that. The reason why I'm highlighting this plugin is because UBK are actually great hardware they design hardware, and they know a lot about it. So when it comes to emulating, they know how to strip something down, how to run tones through there, how to get impulse responses, everything. They can get it right. They can emulate something because they know how the hardware works. They also have a bunch of emulations of their own hardware, which they've done, and they've done spectacularly. I know Dave Pensada uses a couple of them, and so do a lot of other engineers. Their Hammer DSP, for example, is an amazing EQ. They've also got the Clariphonic hardware unit, which they've emulated. Basically, what I'm saying is these guys aren't backdoor type guys. They've backyard type guys. They really know what they're doing. So when they did this emulation, you can trust that it's going to have very similar a similar feel to the actual Distressor. So that's just my logic in that, But obviously, you can use your ears, and you can go ahead and choose based on that. All right, so that's the Deflector. Another one I wanted to bring your attention to, let me just grab it there, is the Disto. The Disto is by SK Note. Now, I love SK Note. A lot of people relate price to quality because they will say, oh, well, the Waves are the best plugins, the UADs are the best plugins, the Slates are the best plugins because they cost the most. But that's not always wrong. That's not always the wrong assumption, but it's a bad assumption to make. SK Note have started developing like a really great reputation over the last few years because they've just done really great quality products. I wanted to add a Gates stay level to my arsenal, but I couldn't obviously afford to import a real Gates stay level, and they're also pretty rare and sought after these days, and they need servicing and this and that, so it was just too expensive to consider. And they had a emulation of that Gates, and I gave it a good listen to. It's called I forget what it's called now, the SK Note Stay Limit. That's it, Stay Limit. And it just sounds fantastic. And since then, I just really love these guys. And the really interesting thing about them is that it doesn't cost a lot. All their products are about between $20 and $40, so it's very, very affordable. And these guys do a fantastic job emulating things. Now, as you can see, this is an emulation of the Distressor as well. It's a stereo channel, so there's two of them, as you can see. And then there's also two down here. And basically what these are emulations of the Fatso. The Fatso Junior, I think it's called, by Empirical Labs. So another one of their hardware units. So basically you're getting two emulations in one, and you're getting a stereo version of it. As you can see, this looks a lot like the Distressor, first of all, almost exactly the same. And not only that, but if you read on their website here, you'll see that that they're using a lot of these Empirical Labs trademarks and terms, which were given written permission from Empirical Labs to actually use these terms. So it looks also like Empirical Labs is kind of friendly with these guys and doesn't mind, and kind of probably helped them out a little bit in getting this right. So I don't know any of that, but it's, I can imagine if they gave them permission to use some of the terms that they're cool with these guys. And another interesting thing I saw online, and I'm not really sure if this is true or not, but someone was saying that the owner and creator of the Distressor, Dave Derr, I think his name is, or DRR, I don't know how to pronounce that. I saw someone saying on Gearsluts, and it could be utter rubbish, but I saw someone saying that he might even create a couple presets for this SK Note Disto and some of his favorite sounds from the Distressor, and he might pop them on here. And so if that was true, it just goes to show that they seem to be cool with these guys and their emulation, despite obviously having their own one that's out now. Okay, now I didn't want to buy this plugin. It's only $39. I didn't want to buy this plugin just for this demo. So I can't show you how it sounds either, but believe me, this Mixbus TV tutorial or walkthrough of the plugin is fantastic. They do such a great job, and you can tell it's got a fantastic sound, and it sounds a lot like the Distressor. Very, very worth getting your hands on for the $40 that it costs. I'm probably going to go ahead and get this as soon as I can. So it's a no-brainer for me. I really like the sound of this, and with their second version of it, they've actually added another functionality, which basically allows you to choose a clean version of the plugin. And basically that was from demand from all their users, because it actually had a very dirty feeling in the beginning. It was far more dirty than the original Distressor. So the fans who bought the product loved it, but they just wanted something a bit cleaner that they could work with as well, which would then of course be a lot closer to the original. And SK Note, being the cool guys that they are, went and included a clean version. So basically now you can get almost exactly the same feeling as the Distressor. You're definitely going to get that feeling in the box. And of course you also have extra functionalities to make it a little bit more usable on other things. You know, sometimes you don't want that Distressor sound, you just want to mess with it a bit, and you have that too. So guys, they don't do demos. Go ahead and listen to this MixPlus TV review of it. And as I say, it's only $40, so it would be a great buy anyway. It sounds fantastic. So this is another great option if you're looking for that Distressor sound. Another one that I found while I was researching, trying to find the right plugins, is also by the guys at UBK, except it's under their brand called Kush Audio, and it's the UBK One. Now this isn't a direct emulation of the Distressor, but I found this thread on a very old thread on Gear Sluts where they were going through this plugin, and again, this is by some really quality guys at UBK, and basically, you know, this guy came up with this, you know, these A/B comparisons, and he did nuke mode on both the UBK One and also on the Distressor, and he also did a 2-to-1 ratio on the UBK One and the Distressor, and he played with the UBK One, I'm guessing, yeah, on Squish or Crunch, I'm guessing Squish, and he obviously does so many variations and settings that you can use in this fantastic plugin, and he played with these. I think he lists these settings in that forum post, and I'll obviously try to find that post and link it in the description of this video. And basically he says he could get almost exactly the same sound. You can't even almost tell or at all tell the difference between the Distressor and the UBK One. Now I'm going to show you that because it's a very interesting one, and afterwards I'll reveal which one is which. So I'm going to play all 4 examples. They're very quick, so don't worry about time or anything. Alright, so sorry, excuse the noise there. I think my neighbor's just coming in. But either way, as you could tell from those 4 examples, they all the nukes sound the same and the 2-to-1 sound the same. You can, I mean, really barely tell the difference. Half the guys on Gear Sluts didn't know which ones were right, and you know, some got it right, some got it wrong. And really, the Distressor is A and C. So maybe you did get that, maybe you didn't, but B and D are the UBK One. And I mean, really, if you play these, you can go back on my video now and just play these examples again, and you would realize that they're almost exactly the same. If you want that Distressor sound, it is definitely achievable with this UBK One as well. And again, I'll try post a link to that. I think his name was DeSound Junkie or something like that, and you know, the guy who posted it, so thanks to him obviously, and I'll obviously link to his post so you guys can check it out. I think he had his settings there, everything, so you could set it up however you like, and yeah, again, possible to get that Distressor sound. So yeah, let me just actually bypass this, play the drums, and then, you know, bring it in and play around with it a bit. this headroom knob is actually quite fascinating. In fact, this whole plugin is fascinating. But this headroom, you can starve the plugin of headroom by bringing it down, and then you just hear the pumping going crazy. So there's a whole bunch of pumping there already, but so it basically drives the whole plugin. And then if you set this wet knob down, I'm going to bypass it. So you can feel the movement there, and if you check out his videos on the website, on the UBK website, you can he runs through some stuff just like that, where he allows it to breathe in such a way but still not get over compressed. And if you hear the AB that I just did now when I put it on bypass, it's the same level. There's not a lot of makeup being made there or anything like that. It's the same level. It's just there's so much pumping and breathing. And obviously, like I say, if you just work with it a bit, you work with all of these knobs here, and you play around, you can definitely get that Distressor sound, just like the chap on Gear Sluts actually managed to get. Alright, now I don't want to go on for too much longer, but I just wanted to also mention that, seeing as how we're talking about yeah, this is the UBK on their website. Seeing as how we're talking about all Distressor plugin emulations, there is another one that's still coming out, FG Stress by Slate Digital. This is it on their website. And what's nice about this, because let's just go through the prices of all of these. What's nice about this is obviously that you can sign up for their $15 a month bundle, and you get everything with that for $15 a month. I think that's great value considering all the other great plugins they have. So when this comes out, and this actually looks like the most faithful recreation of it. I know that Empirical has their own and everything, but Empirical added all those extra tricks, which is great. I think it's an amazing thing. But Slate seems to have just kept it straight to what, and this is actually endorsed by Empirical Labs themselves. So Slate's probably paid a license fee or something to get the name, or to recreate it as they have, or whatever the case is. But this looks perfect. This is going to be a very exciting plugin when it comes out, and for a good price. I think you can get it in their web store as well, and their everything bundle regularly, just by paying for it. So this is good value in my opinion. I would definitely consider this. The UBK one is $149, so it's not cheap, but this is an amazing compressor, and in fact just lovely plugin in general. You can do so many things with it, and it's definitely worth the money, and they've got a demo. The Disto, as I said, was $39.99, so $40, really great price, really worth it. The Deflector is $99, so that's, to me, a really great price for something emulated very, very well, and can be your go-to Distressor plugin anytime. And then, of course, the Empirical Labs is about $350 when it's not on sale. So there's all your options, guys. I hope this has helped you choose a good Distressor plugin, or also helped you with a bit of insight into what exists currently on the market. There's quite a few options now, and there never was before. So do yourself a favor and try get these demos, and give them all a try, and then choose your Distressor plugin based on that. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you enjoy my videos. Appreciate it.